Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to those using the podcast to fall asleep. If I'm not the only one who does that. Yeah. Welcome back to the D&A Show. While we try to bring you the most exclusive and candid content, we also have the unsaid responsibility to find different ways to keep you entertained, right? And so we decided to invite a funny bone who is a human resource professional by the day and a poet by the night and sarcastic always. And oh, by the way, she also holds a master's degree in psychology. Yes, today we have my dear friend and Anirudh's wife, Jayashree Pisharody, in the studios. Jay, welcome to the studio, and I hope you are in a good mood today.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me here in the studio. I think I'm really, really glad to be here and experience the connection with our audience. No, this wasn't sarcastic. And of course, I'm in a good mood. So, thank you.
Thank you, my lady, and the pleasure is ours to have you here. Anu, where are you? Why are you so quiet today? I remember you being very chirpy when Ankita was on our tax filing episode. Where has all the chirpiness gone today, my friend?
I don't know if it just flew away out of the windows with the birds.
Now I'm contemplating if I should do this episode, guys.
Jay, stop it now. You can't bully my friend like that. He's a
Okay.
well-respected member of the D&A show. Come on, Anu, speak up. Our listeners want to hear their favorite podcaster now.
Well, hey, hi guys, welcome to the D&A Show, and you know, uh, I just wanted to give this feel like so far to the listeners. The whole conversation is so sarcastic. I just want to welcome my darling wife to our show, and the mic is to you, my lady.
Thank you. I'm not going to be that nice, though, in the conversation like you were.
Guys, are you done with all the sarcasm? Can I now welcome our listeners with the most polite and sweetest voice in the studio today?
Over with sarcasm. You were clearly sleeping when we discussed the round of the show, dude. And at the same time, I am sure you were being sarcastic when you said you are the sweetest person in the studio. You remember, right, that we are recording from a studio and there are far more sweeter voices in the studio. So you are not even close to them. And sarcasm is the topic for today's conversation. It will be on air today. It is sort of the main dish on the menu. Anjay, why is sarcasm the point of discussion today? Please grace us and our listeners with 2 bits of your mind.
So thanks, Dave, for that question. It's an interesting one. Why is sarcasm on air today? It is precisely because my relationship with sarcasm has been so up close and personal that I'm surprised it has not yet made to the list of being a figure of speech in the grammar Bible, Renan Martin. It makes so much relevance in the conversations which are difficult, like calling spade a grave digger, pun intended. you know, I think I've had some, innate affiliation to the grammar memes. And I realize that it needs a certain sense of curiosity and love for this language to understand how beautifully sarcastic it can get when you use the words right. The wordplay is really intense.
Yeah.
So I think for listeners to get a better perspective on sarcasm, let alone its art, I want to know what sarcasm means to you and quite literally and personally.
Yeah, so guys, thankfully our vibe is such that we didn't have to struggle much on introducing sarcasm to you. Because we know when we speak, it is laced with it appropriately and we probably have expressed everything from joy to displeasure through it. Right, Jay?
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely right. Sometimes I just don't understand how they vibe like this. It's like my life is vibing with sarcasm.
Of course, Dave sitting here is like my twin soul. When it comes to sarcasm, it's not just the punny moments that you create, which can never be recreated, by the way. It is also the best way to kind of steal a couple of moments of pure, unadulterated fun.
So, see, so basically, sarcasm for us is a British legacy, right? And I believe there is no one in this world that uses sarcasm to the fullest as much as the British do. And we urban youth picked it directly from mothers and our teachers. Like we all know, right? Our mothers were sarcastic. Our mothers are, sorry, not were, they are sarcastic. And that's where we get it partly as a part of our DNA and partly as a part of our upbringing. I remember teachers in our school used to speak in sarcasm as their first language, and then probably English or Hindi just as a medium to communicate. Like if you had to go for a sports practice during a science or a math class, the teacher would absolutely make a comment stating, "Yes, you should focus on sports. I'm sure you are the next Tendulkar this country needs." And I remember thinking, was it a compliment to my dedication or a slap to the lack of my dedication towards her topic? But today, sitting here on this podcast, I'm sure it was the latter one.
Of course.
Well, Dev, I completely agree when you said that this is a British legacy. As when I started working, it was with the Brits. And it took me at least a year to understand how sarcastic they are.
Yeah.
So there was this one time that I was helping a customer and the resolution did not go his way. He said, "I'm absolutely splendid with the service I received today." And I was like, "Thank you, sir. You made my day." That call escalated quickly.
So, as the connoisseur of wit, Oscar Wilde quotes, sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, but the highest form of intelligence.
Yeah, I have heard of this, but Oscar Wilde himself is so sarcastic and witty that I don't understand whether he meant it sarcastically or genuinely. Also, as I said earlier, nobody's as sarcastic as our mothers, and you are a mother to a 4-year-old, Jay. Have you initiated his training in sarcasm? And if yes, how has he responded to it?
Please यार घर पे एक और मत लाओ यार, एक काफी है मेरे लिए.
Well, I think it's too late, Anu. The training has well begun. And I think
Sir,
they
you have lost the battle already.
I think it's in his DNAs.
absolutely. And we are on the D&A show. What
Yeah.
better? So I think Dave has been witness to some of these
Yeah.
funny, sarcastic
It's
moments.
not called witness, victim.
That's a different tale that you will
Yeah.
have to tell, I'm sure. So Dave, as you rightly pointed out, as mothers, we are like the torchbearers of sarcasm, and that to
Yeah.
be taught to the children the right way, right? And I think our day begins with sarcasm. हाँ तुम नहीं तुम थोड़ी देर और सो जाओ. नहीं हम स्कूल कल चले जाएंगे. Just lie down comfortably. Life's good.
My poor boy.
And
What?
and you should watch him, wake up with that sleepy eyes. Why is she saying this? And then it will go on with, Nini, let's have 1 bowl of sugar for breakfast. I think काम हो जाएगा अपना.
हाँ, पूरा दिन निकल जाएगा.
And he will be scared. I think my mother has lost it. Why is she asking me to do these things? So the poor thing didn't really know this word sarcasm, or, really didn't understand the concept of sarcasm, but he kind of got the pulse, I remember very clearly where he asked me, Mom, are you joking? Was that a joke?
He thought my mother has a very weird sense of humor, right?
Absolutely dry.
And you know what? I remember one of his jokes. Off lately, I'm into this fitness thing, and like I'm going to the gym full pumped. Like, Dada, आप जिम जाते हो लेकिन आपका पेट क्यों है?
Because मैं कार से जाता हूँ, आते टाइम लेस का एक पैकेट खत्म करके आता हूँ.
Nah, I don't do that. Taba.
Yeah, Jay, sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah. So I think, these are real life instances which we can
Yeah.
keep going on for hours on end, because he has picked up, that funny bone, that true skill of sarcasm, where he also pairs it up very nicely with different emotions, So as, Anu mentioned about, him taunting on the gym, it was more towards that dry spectrum of
Yeah.
sarcasm where it came across as slightly rude. But I think that's also the timing, where he would ask for
Yeah.
a joyride in the car and he would be like, no, it's my gym time. And, he would want to ask him, hello, does 2 and 2 ever make 4? What?
I mean, I miss a car ride because you want to go to gym.
Exactly.
How is that gymming helping you in any way?
Or me, for that matter.
Yeah.
And talking about emotions, so there's this one time where my mom was home, and of course she's taken care of Shived for the most active part of his baby days, and of course he's still with her right now.
Yeah.
So they have a very different equation, okay? And so there was this one time where he was just chatting, chattering away, for minutes on end, and we
Yeah.
just had to get him to say that enough, that's it, now break.
Yeah.
And my mom very sarcastically also said, hey, do you have a thread and a needle? I think I could just stitch his lips up, enough of the talks. To that, you would be surprised. He reacted and he said, oh, Amama. So that's what we call
Yeah.
for the grandmother. He says, Amama, do you know stitching? Oh, very nice. Wait, please hold on for a minute. And you know what happened next? He just
Yeah.
ran to get out his favorite pair of pant that kind of had a slight tear. Ki, why don't you just stitch this
Yeah,
up?
if you know stitching, put it to good use.
Good
Yes,
use.
exactly.
Solve my crisis.
Yeah.
I think that was a very smart move of,
The kid is going places. I can tell you. He's going places.
Thank you, Dev.
I know you enjoy sarcasm very much, right? And so do I. But I've realized that it's a double-edged sword. Like Shive tried this with his amama, his grandmother. Imagine him trying this with an outsider. It's such a risk, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
people will judge you right, left, and center.
Correct.
And hence it needs to be handled with care. And as you said, yes, most people don't get it. It comes across as rude if not landed right. Like my wife, Ankita. She's a very sweet and fun loving person and does not understand, or to put it bluntly, finds sarcasm very rude. And so I believe with sarcasm, there is no middle ground. You either love it or you hate it. And once someone hates it, they get really annoyed if someone uses sarcasm to them. I have tried this conversation with Ankita. She feels sarcasm is similar to taunting and hence finds it very hurtful. So I try to avoid using sarcasm around her. But I've also noticed she's excellent at sarcasm when she comes around to use it on me. The only difference is that she has to make a lot of effort at being sarcastic, and hence the desperation comes across as more rude and even more painful. So, Anu, now you have experienced being around with such whole brainly sarcastic friends, right?
Yep.
Because I know you're one of those sweet, polite, and innocent people who doesn't want anything to do with being mean or sarcastic. What is your thought process? How do you basically look at this?
Well, to be honest, I can be mean at times. It's in my name, Annie Rude. But, that is always because I can't draw the line. I'm either nice or mean. And if I am mean, the person would definitely want to jump off the building because I'm
Yeah, they
that
don't
level of
expect
G.
it from you.
Yeah, they don't expect
Yeah.
it from me. And, that really sometimes pushes me, let's just shut up and not talk. So that's, I think, kind of my personality in such that I don't like to be sarcastic and I just hold myself at times from saying things.
So okay, here I have a thought to pitch in. So basically, when sarcasm comes from a person who is not usually sarcastic, it's going to be bad
yeah.
because people are not expecting it from you, so they will not be ready for it. When you land it, it comes across as mean and rude because it's like, भाई क्या हो गया? Are you
ये
okay?
आदमी अच्छा खासा था, इसको
हाँ,
क्या हो
मतलब,
गया? आज किसका
Are you
शक्ल देखा?
बीमार?
Mood kharab. I
हाँ,
think
are
that's
you-
the
हाँ.
right pulse.
Whereas when it comes from people who are usually sarcastic, people are ready for it. They are expecting it कि यार मतलब इसके मुंह से ना तो सही बात निकलेगी नहीं.
हाँ, ये टेढ़ा ही जवाब
ये
देगा.
टेढ़ा ही जवाब देगा. So that time people are more, I mean, sort of open to receive it. And that's why me and Jay kind of work it out when we be sarcastic. People expect it. कि मतलब हाँ ये तो ऐसे ही जवाब देंगे.
But I have a question.
Hmm.
So, is टेढ़ा जवाब देना sarcasm or like
On stupid questions, yes.
हाँ, like this one.
hey, every question is not dumb.
No,
enough.
it's
हमने कहाँ
not.
बोला every question is not dumb, but people who ask these questions are surely dumb.
Let's cut this out, editor. Please cut
You
this
are
out.
on a sarcasm episode. You can't ask these things. Nothing
Hey,
is going to
it's,
get cut.
it's my show. I'm gonna ask questions.
Yeah, feel free. We will feel free to
It
go
is
by
our
the
show.
theme.
We will also answer it in our way then.
Okay. I think I'm just going with the flow. Jay, please continue.
Okay, I think this was a fair point of where sarcasm could push
Yeah.
limits. I think I think it was a fair point, Anu, that you brought about being rude or it seeming across as being insulting, right? Now I want to kind of want you to repeat with me that insult is not sarcasm. Being rude is not sarcasm. It is unacceptable by all memes, and I mean it. Right? I think sarcasm is like that fine spice where if you use it in the right amounts, it's going to give you a
Yeah.
beautiful flavoring. But if you have to have that as the main serving, then I think you're going to hurt yourself. So if you use it, as an efficient tool, it kind of gets difficult conversations easier at so
Yeah.
many times. But it's about using it correctly. What happens most times is people mistake this satire or irony or even insult or these rude replies to be sarcasm, right? So I think it's really important to
Hmm.
pause and repeat that it is unacceptable. It is not insult. What do you
Okay.
think, Dave?
Yeah, so yes, you're right. Again, it's a combination of multiple things. You just can't land it directly without any backstory.
Hmm.
It becomes very difficult to people to understand and digest it. You have to understand what sort of a mental state the person is in when you land it. Uh, yeah, I mean,
Sarcasm
if
can get you a slap sometimes.
oh, it can be very bad. I will tell you, I have experimented with it for all my life, right? I have tried it on my bosses.
that's
Never.
that's like a line you should not cross, I feel.
Ever.
I'm telling you, I've tried it with my clients. I have been in sales profession for the last 15 years. I've tried it with my clients. I'm telling you, I vouch for it. It works if it's done well.
Mhm.
See, being in sales, negotiation is a big part of the career, right? I have used it a lot of times. मतलब सेल्स वाले के लाइफ में ऐसा टाइम आता है जब क्लाइंट आपसे वो मांग रहा है जो आप नहीं दे सकते,
Exactly.
एंड यू हैव टू गो बियॉन्ड योर बेसिक मीन्स. एक बहुत ही सिंपल स्टोरी है, मैं आई विल शेयर दिस विद एवरीवन. So I was on this call about a couple of years back with a client where he was continuously being very, very unreasonable with his demands. And I was like, sir, सब accepted. सब कुछ मिल जाएगा आपको. आप जो मांग रहे हो वो दे देंगे. एक ही शर्त है. Give me a job in your company. I said, if I'm going to do this for you, I'd rather be on your side then. Now this client took it very sportingly. He said, अरे यार क्या मजाक कर रहे हो? मैंने कहा मजाक तो आपने शुरू किया था. मैं तो बस ज्वाइन इन कर रहा हूँ. But
Yeah, I think
there are other instances where this has backfired, where I used a similar tonality with the client and he said, oh, if that's the tone you're going through, I don't want to talk to you. And
so
he
I
logged off.
think you need to judge a person well
Yeah, you
landing the
have to.
sarcasm.
You have to judge a person. You have to
Feel
have
the
to have
pulse.
certain relationship.
Yeah.
You can't straight away land it on a stranger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
All
think,
people, most people don't take it lying down.
yeah. And that's fair, right? Everybody is different. I think these are some basic do's and don'ts, when you use
Yeah.
sarcasm, where you kind of only enjoy it with the ones, who enjoy it with you, right? And because what we are doing is not bullying, right? Bullying
Yeah.
is never cool. Now, when it comes to, a sarcastic person, the person is believed to be very, very emotionally intelligent, to at least gauge the mood in the room. And, as he said, if he would definitely have gotten hints from that client saying, hey, that's not the road that I want to go down. Right. And it kind of backfired and he would stop there. There are people who take it sportingly and they would just, kind of give in with you and join in the fun
Yeah.
in that moment, make it lighter.
So are there like specific do's that you have in mind when you are sarcastic?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, it is believed that you are emotionally intelligent to, gauge the mood in the room. That's your number one to do, when you kind of are wanting to land a sarcasm. You always look for that validation. That's very, very important. And you have to land it with that absolute surety. There can't be second guesses. There can't be a wrong landing.
I
It's
mean,
a crash.
it's like playing a game of poker. You're all
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You can't go half-hearted. You have to be dedicated to it. And what I've learned is when it crashes, you have to take it on your chin.
Absolutely.
You can't walk away unscattered from that. You will, when it crashes, you will feel hurt.
Get it.
So I've tried it with my bosses in a few budget meetings where the discussions are
interesting.
like, yeah, this is the budget. I said, ठीक है, एक काम करो, इसको आधा कर दो. इसको आधा कर दो, इसके साथ टारगेट भी आधा कर दो. It will work out. They're like, yeah, please understand. मैंने कहा, understand तो मैं कर लूँगा, पर number कहाँ से होंगे? So this is when I use sarcasm, when it's sort of a defense mechanism or a tool where you have no other cards left.
So basically, it's like your stretch point.
Yeah, it's a Hail Mary कि मतलब
इसके आगे
अब
आपको
तुम
कुछ
नहीं
मिलने
मान
वाला
रहे. Now it's a very polite way of saying fuck off.
And when Bloody Mary is off the office hours
Yeah.
only.
Exactly. Exactly. And see, most people in the urban circles in the corporate life understand sarcasm.
Mm.
See, because I said, right, it's a British legacy.
Yeah.
All of us have been educated in the British style of education.
Mm.
So people understand it. वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग कब खराब होता है पता है, जब सामने वाले का मूड खराब हो कि मतलब आई एम नॉट इन अ मूड फॉर दिस बॉस, ये सही टाइम नहीं है.
कभी has it ever backfired with you, one of your
Oh,
bosses?
many times, not once. See, my approach is very simple, experiment.
Okay.
चले तो चले, नहीं तो भी क्या मतलब, ठीक है, it's not as bad कि you are going to fire me. I'm not abusing. I'm just trying to bring in a little fun. And in general, salespeople are a little casual, right?
Yeah.
With their in-office conversations, थोड़ा सा casualness चलता है. So I experiment with it very often.
So I have a question for you.
Hmm.
How does it work for your team? Like, you
Oh, my team suffers with it a lot. Because उनको तो ये idea नहीं होता कि मैं serious कब हूँ और sarcastic कब हूँ.
yeah,
They're
I'm
like very
sure.
confused. I've had people who come back to me and say, आपने ये बोला ये genuine था या sarcastic था?
Sounds like my 4-year-old.
Yeah. Because obviously for me they are kids, right?
Yeah.
And for them I am like an elderly figure.
Yeah.
So when I give them, suppose अगर किसी के numbers बहुत खराब है and I say superb job boss, continue doing this and I will help you find a new job. And
Right.
फिर वो probably lunch time पे आके पूछेंगे, यार सर आपने ये बोला था, what do you mean, will you help me find a better job? मैंने कहा no, continue doing it, you will find it one day.
You'll be fired.
हाँ मतलब it's sometimes it's a little derogatory.
Yeah.
And then I go back and apologize to them, speak to them, bring them up to
Take them for a chai sotta break.
हाँ, simple thing कि मतलब यार ठीक है, I was inconsiderate, but this is where you're wrong. And when you do this over a period of time with people, they somehow come to your wavelength and they realize कि हाँ मतलब ठीक है,
आज बॉस अच्छे मूड में.
मेरा बॉस ऐसा ही है, I have to live with it.
No, I think that it's not अच्छे mood में है and you don't make sarcasm or you don't kind of joke sarcastically when you're in a bad mood. It's about when you definitely don't want to be rude with somebody, right?
Yeah.
It's not cool to ever yell at a workplace, ever shout at someone or be disrespectful towards someone. You're putting it across very jovially in the most subtle way possible. That's what this episode is all about, the subtle art.
Yeah.
You kind of go back in time, make a reference to the conversation, get it straight to them that was what you did was wrong because of so and so reason. As we said, it's more of using it as the right tool to communicate more effectively. It kind of buys you time to not react or burst out. Listening to in that situation, it's so dreadful. Understand where it comes from. You're so
Pissed.
flabbergasted probably that you don't know how to react. It's stupid, but you don't know what to make of the situation now.
Someone asked me a few years back कि what is sarcasm exactly? मतलब होता क्या है? So, and that's when I built my definition of sarcasm कि when you say something with complete confidence that you don't mean at all.
True.
It
I would
leaves the
second
person confused. It leaves them completely in a space which they're not comfortable with. So that's when I realized कि यार, it is not a space that I would be comfortable with. Why are you putting somebody in a position where they don't understand what is happening? Especially in a professional environment where we talk about a lot of comfort, we talk about a lot of comfortable space, a safe space. But then again, we are obnoxious.
Exactly. I think that's why I feel that it is best to refrain from sarcasm at workplace because, coming from the HR profession, which is, the stark other side of sales, it doesn't really go well. It's our duty to make people feel all comfortable and nice and welcome. And I don't want to scare
what
them
goes
with
well
sarcasm.
with HR people? Keeping a person on
precisely
hold for a
nothing.
month to release their offer letters. Does
Oh,
that hold well?
well,
That's a jibe to all the HRs out there.
I am taking it outright jibe.
oh, like the episodes where the employee who's supposed to join is just suddenly invisible from planet Earth on the day one.
I am sure that's a rare case compared to the other side, which is waiting for the
Exactly.
offer letter for ages.
Exactly. That
Okay,
is
guys,
a
don't
rare
fight
case.
now.
Oh, is this a
I,
fight
ha-
there?
I have a stone to grind with them. We will do a separate episode on that.
Of course, the corporate series.
I will call it the ranting series. It's going to be just a monologue of me ranting for 40 minutes straight.
Okay, we will do our job very well of actively listening to you,
Exactly.
understanding the entire pain process for 45 minutes and still saying our standard note
Yes.
of we
It's
will
a
get
company
back to you.
policy.
We will get back to you.
Chalo, sorry. Let's get back. So, Jay, tell me something. We all watch sitcoms, right? Hindi, English, all sorts of.
Absolutely. I think
Uh,
isn't that where we kind of picked up our sarcasm from?
We refined it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Hindi mein, matlab, there are sitcoms like Sarabhai versus Sarabhai, right? Is there anyone on television who is more sarcastic than Maya Sarabhai?
Impossible. I
Yeah.
think
And she's borderline rude. She's
Yeah.
borderline. She insults and humiliates everyone around her.
yeah.
But she's sort of the most sarcastic person out there on Hindi television.
Yeah, so her sarcasm is foolproof, right? She
Yeah.
lands it so beautifully. So good that you mentioned
And with that
this.
complete British suave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think, good that you mentioned this episode. I have this vivid recall of this one particular instance from Sarabhai where the maids are on leave, okay? And she tries to tell her husband that the food is served and kept on the table. And he says, पर मैं मर्द हूँ. And she says, I cannot do anything about it. You have to go complain about it to your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. She kind of addressed that entire issue with such beautiful sarcasm. It just stays.
Yeah.
She was
Perfect.
amazing.
Exactly. And that's about Hindi, right? I'm sure there are many more characters in Hindi. Take a series like Khichdi, where there are multiple people who are brutally sarcastic. Then on the English sitcoms, we have a bunch of them, right? There is Chandler from Friends. There is
Schitt's
Leonard and
Creek.
Schitt's Creek, yes. There is Leonard and Howard from Big Bang.
Bazinga.
Yeah, the poor Sheldon Cooper who suffers a lot with it. There is Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. I mean, these are the classics, right? And we refined our sarcasm from them. Now, these are a lot of beloved characters. We have all grown up watching them, grown up learning from them. I mean, typically not learning anything, but understanding the popular culture from them. And we have all seen that these sitcoms also have an opposite character. Like there is Sheldon in Big Bang who doesn't understand sarcasm. He understands sarcasm when Leonard actually puts out a poster
Board.
with sarcasm written on it.
Yeah.
There was an episode. I
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
that.
There was an episode where he puts out the board saying, I am sarcastic. And even then, he's not very convinced. Is that sarcasm? Or you holding that board is sarcasm?
Oh, man.
So, and there are people like this in our surrounding,
In our
right?
daily day lives.
Yeah.
You being one, Anu.
Yeah. I was
My life is
avoiding that.
difficult. Difficult around him where he would just be offended. I'm like, what did I say?
Precisely, Jay. The point that I was planning to make. An untimed sarcasm can leave a bad taste for everyone in the room, right? And using it against an emotionally vulnerable person can make you come across as a devil. So, Anu, my question is for you here. You have
Okay.
been around a lot of obnoxious people like me and Jay. Yeah.
Married to one.
Yeah, married to one. Best
By
friends.
choice.
Best friends. Best friends to other. You have chosen badly, my friend. But tell me honestly, how do you feel being around such people? And we know how you handle it, but I want the listeners to know, because there will be a lot of emotionally vulnerable people like you out there who just don't understand it and are not interested in it. But how do you usually tackle with such social irregularity?
Wow.
Look at the terms,
Oh my
Dave.
god. I think I need to call Shashi Tharoor now.
You should try Abhijit Iyer Mitra.
Oh, you're being trained well, I must say.
Well, somewhere to answer your question, I've worked in the BPO industry, right? So day in and day out, I've
Yeah.
spoken to thousands of people.
But you were getting paid there to do it.
I was getting paid there, but you get people who are obnoxiously sarcastic, and you understand. I think
See, you're so polite, you cannot even pronounce obnoxious.
That's so cute.
obnoxious, whatever. So coming back to the point is, I think you need to be patient. One thing you need to understand is that that person is your best friend and not trying to demean you by any ways. I think they're a part of your life. So you gotta take it in a sporting spirit. Like certain people are a certain way, right? Like my behavior towards someone would always be very polite and humble. And certain people are sarcastic, witty, funny. They have that funny bone in them that they want to tick everyone off. So I think it's all about understanding personalities. I mean, a person who's sarcastic to you doesn't really mean that he doesn't care for you. He would care for you. Like, for example, going back to this instance where my dad was like, "तू इतना fast bike चला रहा, थोड़ा और fast चला ले."
बाइक को पीछे छोड़ तू आगे चले जा.
हाँ, तू भाग, मतलब तू भाग, तेरे को जितना भागना भाग, मतलब you want to do everything, do it. So I know that all he meant was care, right? He was not trying to push me. So all you have to do is take it with a pinch of salt and gulp it down. Sometimes you can give it back when you feel it's not right.
Not your father.
Not to my father, no. I mean,
Not your wife either.
that is a dangerous spot. You never want to go there. That's like ensuring the death road. But this really happens with me when I try and land a sarcastic comment. I really end up killing that person in a very bad way. Like, matlab, I go so deep.
हाँ मतलब because you mean to be rude then, right?
I don't mean to, but फिर मेरा वो डार्क साइड बाहर निकल जाता है. तो मैं बोलता हूँ यार ये मेरे बस की बात नहीं है. ठीक है, तेरे को sarcasm बोलना है, बोल ले. I'll live with it. I don't have an option now. I have a wife and a kid and a friend. Everyone's so fucking sarcastic. So it's pointless arguing.
Caught
It's
in the
like-
wrong
it's-
job.
No, it's like talking to Arnav. Not the Arnav who's in the show, right?
You mean Arnab Goswami?
Arnav Goswami, yeah. The nation wants to know. He'll talk. He will talk. मतलब कुछ सुनना नहीं है उसको किसी का. तो ठीक है, उसको बात कर लेने दो यार. क्या
No,
ही
no,
फर्क
but
पड़ना है.
I think that's just the husband-wife relationship coming out there, and the close friends relationship
See
coming
what
out
all I
there.
go through, guys.
You chose us.
Yeah,
we had
I mean,
nothing to do here.
We were like this. We have been like this forever, right?
My
Yeah.
luck, my fate.
Yeah. I mean, we know each other for 20 years now. You know Jay for 20 years now.
Yeah. Deep.
So basically, you learn to live with it.
Yeah, you learn to live with it. Yeah.
The gist of what you said is, I'd just like to paraphrase it for for our listeners. One thing is, don't take it too seriously
Yes.
because you are sure that they don't mean it.
Yes.
Give it back sometime.
Yeah.
You know they will take it. They
have to.
They have been dishing it out all their
The
life.
karma comes
They
back.
will take it.
Yeah.
And me and Jay, we both agree that we take it on the chin.
Yes.
If it's really good, we appreciate it. Because then we become connoisseurs of sarcasm, right? कि मतलब हाँ boss.
More to the clan.
ये तगड़ा पड़ा है. Appreciated. Bring more.
Yes.
Get us more if you can. So that's how we look at it, right? And again, well, on that note, if you guys know what to do and have understood our episode today, please do not like. Absolutely don't share. And for obvious reason, don't subscribe to the D&A Show. And everyone out there who did not understand this episode, please like, please share, please subscribe, because we don't want to lose our listeners.
Do definitely let us know on the comment section. Hit our Instagram channel, the D&A Show India. Tell us your thoughts of what you feel.
Jay, any last closing comments from you?
No, I think you ended it very well. And, a very interesting question for our fellow listeners. I really want to know, do you think, you know what part of the brain gets activated when you kind of hear sarcasm or you make sarcasm? Let us know in the comment box.
Nice
Super.
one.
That's a very good thought to leave our listeners with. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
And that was Dave and Anirudh, your hosts for the D&A Show. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to rate us on your streaming platform. This episode was recorded at Manic Pod Studios. Your executive producers are Ankita Dwivedi and Jayashree Pisharody, and your sound engineers are Rohit Das and Manak Chakraborty. The production for this podcast was coordinated by Arnav Dogra. Stay tuned in for more exciting content.